This is going on long enough. This guy's been gone for weeks. No calls, no texts, no social media, nothing. We need a new top 5 this week. You two, think of something.
Us?
Oh my god. I hadn't even thought of that. Heather! Glad you could join us.
Wow. There is a lot to unpack here, Aiyanna.
Walter and I were just talking about superheroes. Remember when we used to talk about comic books every week?
Well,
We talked about things vaguely related to comic books, yeah.
What if we did a comic book themed top 5 episode now that Walter's back?
I need to know that you know this isn't actually Walter.
Yeah, Heather, I know, I built it. This is the form my grief is taking.
Thank goodness.
So what do you think?
I think it's a little weird, but there are less healthy ways for you to deal with your grief.
No, silly. I meant the comic themed top 5 episode.
Oh, yeah, sure. It'll take us back to our Channel Awesome roots. What kind of thing were you thinking of?
Well, maybe I'm sorry, what was that, Walter? Walter says, here are the top 5 worst comic book movie castings.
Oh boy.
Number 5, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
This is probably one of the most divisive choices on our list.
Jesse Eisenberg played Lex Luthor in the movie Batman v Superman. From the moment this casting was announced, there was doubt that Eisenberg could play the character well. There is, of course, the physical difference. Lex Luthor in the comics is more burly and threatening. He's a cunning, aggressive businessman who is overly confident and pompous. Eisenberg plays the character as an awkward young internet mogul who people can't even stand to be around. And of course, the hair. Traditionally, the character is bald.
Now, before you get too mad, commenters, yes, we realize that Eisenberg is supposedly playing Lex Luthor Jr., who is a totally different character. Maybe.
Man on the marquee. No, don't believe it. My father named the company after himself. He was the Lex in front of the corp. How you doing?
Which is also a problem with how the character is portrayed. Is he actually Lex Luthor or a new and different character? Why is it necessary for us to have to ask this question? Perhaps the worst part of Eisenberg's performance is some of the quirks and tics that he adds. I understand that he's trying to create a character, but most of it comes off as way over the top. He's trying too hard to be crazy, veering into Riddler or even Joker territory. He makes choices that show insanity, but are also painfully predictable. Who could ever forget that Cherry Jolly Rancher scene?
It's Cherry.
So wrong.
Number 4, Jennifer Garner as Elektra. We know Jennifer Garner is capable of holding her own during a fight sequence, but there were some questionable choices of Elektra from her introduction in Daredevil. Yet somehow she managed to contractually earn her own spin-off, where they get mildly weirder. Oh my god, someone get this lady a hair tie! The inconsistency of her plot-dependent flashbacks make me seasick, ranging from her childhood to something that happened moments ago. She's also given the ability to briefly see into the future now, I guess. For some reason, the writers felt it necessary that she have OCD, too. None of those characteristics belong to Elektra. Elektra is supposed to be an extremely well-honed assassin, but the premonitions and implausible accuracy turn her from athletic to full-on mutant.
Number 3, Topher Grace as Venom.
After the success of the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, fans were begging to see one of Spider-Man's most popular villains, Venom, on the big screen. And finally, in Spider-Man 3, they got their wish. Just kidding, they got Topher Grace.
Much like Eisenberg and Lex Luthor, Topher Grace looked nothing like any Venom or Eddie Brock we had ever seen before. Eddie is a big, almost jock type. Topher Grace is a wormy little loser in this movie. Venom is one of Spider-Man's most intimidating villains. No one is scared of Eric Foreman.
Ooh, my spider sense is tingling. If you know what I'm talking about.
Keep up with a smart mouth, and my foot'll be 9/10 of the way up your ass.
Of course, I'm not saying that every character in a movie needs to look exactly like their comic or animated equivalent. It can be good to get a refreshing new look at a character, but this wasn't fresh at all. Sometimes when you're pulling from an already established mythos, and don't try to tell me comics do not have a mythos, there are certain things that fans expect to see a certain way.
What's next? Vampires that sparkle in the sun?
Part of the problem with Venom's appearance in this movie is Sam Raimi didn't even want him. There were other villains that he was fighting for screen time against. This left him underdeveloped and his motivations murky. All these years later, and I'm still not convinced they know what they're doing after that first Venom solo movie trailer. Tom Hardy is a much better choice than Topher Grace, though.
Here's to hoping they get it right this time.
Number 2, Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl.
Please be looking for me.
Uncle Alfred.
Meet Barbara Wilson, niece to Alfred Pennyworth.
What? Why? Seconds in, and I'm already furious. Batman, you take it from here.
And you are?
Batgirl.
Oh, yikes. It got worse.
As much as we loved Silverstone in Clueless, Babs should be anything but.
There's a lot of telling us she's smart, not a whole lot of showing.
I'm on break from
Oxbridge Academy, Alfred's alma mater.
the new computer sciences division. How'd you know?
It says so on the patch on your sweater.
I will argue until I'm blue in the face that Batman and Robin was worth it for some really cool vehicles and gadgets. But who throws away a bat cowl?
Maybe he melted.
The least you can do is bring some cool action sequences in that batsuit. Or just walk backwards. That works too.
And the number 1 worst comic book movie casting is Shaq in Steel.
The year was 1997. Batman Forever had done well and Space Jam was popular. Combining the two seemed like a guaranteed payout. It wasn't.
Steel stars basketball superstar Shaquille O'Neal as John Henry Irons, a man who builds a supersuit out of steel to fight some crime and combat some super weapons. Although Shaq had done 2 movies prior to Steel, he didn't consider himself an actor, and rightfully so. He struggles through this whole movie, looking totally awkward and even uncomfortable at times. There is literally a scene where a guy shoots his junk, and Shaq's response is to just waggle his finger. Speaking of waggling, look at those eyebrows go! Even the basketball jokes and references fell flat.
Never could make the free throws.
Oh, he always misses those.
The action was also lacking. This was partly because it was almost impossible to get a stunt double for Shaq due to his height. It would be way too obvious it wasn't him. He moves slowly through action sequences, making them dull. That suit wasn't doing him any favors either. It looks cumbersome. Certain facial expressions would reveal that it definitely wasn't made of steel. Overall, this whole movie is considered one of the worst superhero films ever made. With the bad acting, writing, and effects, it's hard to disagree.
Let us know your least favorite comic book movie castings in the comments down below.
What would you like to see us cover next on the show? Keep using hashtag Where's Walter to send us your theories about where Walter went.
She didn't mean that, Walter.
You can find me on Twitter at Heather Roos, Instagram at HRoos, or Twitch, twitch.tv/Heather Roos.
And you can find me on Facebook as Aiyanna Wade and everywhere else as Awesome Aiyanna. We'll catch you on the next page.
Awesome Comics isn't coming back. Oh, hey, Jim, I'm headed out for the day. Okay, well, see you later. Did you hear that? Ugh. What is that?
Hey. What are you doing?
You didn't see that? Or hear it?
See what?
There's something creepy going on with this door. I'm not crazy.
Go home.